really and truly, and he's ran with it, you know, and a bit like Saliba at centre half. You're not just gonna play because you're young and got potential and all of that jazz. You're gonna have to put in a shift, and you know, he did. Martinelli, you know, he's probably he got 6 goals last season. He must be on like 4 or 5 at the moment. You know, if the decision at Old Trafford went his way, he might have more, but hope it continues. Feel bad for Tierney, seems even more marginalized after being the first name on the team sheet. I hear that, but unpopular opinion, different. We've wanted this. Different players for different games. You know, Zinchenko will get a run. Tomiyasu might get a run at centre back or at right back or at left back, you know, and he's showing his adaptability. You know, Tierney will get his opportunity. I would have played Tierney. I wasn't, as you saw in the watch along, I wasn't against Tomiyasu playing left back because Arteta just talks about his versatility and things. And by all means, when it comes to Tierney, Tomiyasu, Zinchenko, a couple of others, I'm all for them not playing more than one role because they can actually play their own role and then some, really and truly. Tomiyasu was the best man for the job. He's the best, give or take, with Tierney. In terms of the aspects of defending, you know, as good as Saliba is, he's got a long way to go. Tierney and Tomiyasu are our best. Tomiyasu is better in the air. Tomiyasu sticks to his task well. Tomiyasu has that Lauren and Sagna thing about him, and they just do their job. It worked. You know, it worked. There might be another day where you need Tierney or need Zinchenko. We need this. We need different ideas. It's not about the individuals. As I keep saying, I don't want any player who isn't playing to not be happy about that. But we need to get top 4. We need to keep going, and it's working. Everyone will get their chance, really and truly. It is what it is, really. You know, it really is what it is. So on that, you know, we might as well quickly jump into, let me offer some thoughts on the game. Keep yours coming, people. What have I actually got in terms of talking points? There was so many, man. First things first, if I talk about some improvements before the good things, we conceded 7 minutes into the second half, conceded some avoidable goals. Both of them were. I can't say we weren't clinical because we scored 3 goals, but I think we could have been a bit more clinical. You know, same way Firmino had 1 chance, kind of scored. Darwin 1 chance, scored. We need to get in a realm of being able to do that. You know, we could have, to be honest, I think we could have lost or drawn this game as well as win it and not had any complaints. The same goes for Liverpool. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy game watching it again, but we were good. A bit like Spurs, I think we made a blistering start. You know, first 20 minutes or so, 10-20 minutes we were good, we were doing whatever, and I think, you know, if there was to be any disappointment, it would probably be minute 20 to 34 where I think they scored, where I think we kind of, I don't know, it's like we were doing things, we weren't letting them out their half, we stifled the ball out to Salah. Martinelli's giving Trent problems. You kind of lock down that right hand side early on. There's a gap between really their attackers and their defense, really, because only Thiago's showing for the ball. You know, we weren't letting them out. Van Dijk didn't know who to pass it to. But I think after that, we started probably to respect Liverpool unnecessarily and let them put moves together, really, and allow them ultimately to gain confidence. If I'm really honest with you, and I think, as I said, that smash the like button, people. That habit of smelling danger, prevention is better than cure. You look at the transitions at United yesterday, against Liverpool, against Spurs for that penalty, the goals against Leicester. There's numerous points when you watch these games again where we could have stopped it. Numerous players, whether that be a striker, a midfielder, whatever, you know, and we need to get into a habit of just doing that, really and truly. And I do think the warning signs were there because literally just before they scored in the 34th minute, if you remember, they've kind of, you know, a ball over the top. Saliba and Cole have kind of struggled to deal with it. And Saliba's been saved off another own goal on his rap sheet because of Ramsdale, really. And it was almost identical. 31st minute, Salah went close to the near post as well. Ultimately, though, it's not, you know, focus on the good, though. It's nice to win against Liverpool and score some goals. It's love to see we're creating mentality monsters. It's love to start the game and end the game well. You know, love to see we didn't give up. We didn't get scared. We created chances. We battled. We managed the game better than them for the first time in a while. I personally think, you know, the game could have went either way. I think at a period in the second half, both gaffers probably would have taken a point, but it looked like Klopp was kind of shook. He was bringing on some conservative substitutions. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold got given the run around. Why Klopp is putting Henderson on the wing? He got savage same way. Only time I saw him is when he bloody trying to start something with Xhaka and Gabriel. You know, that's all he does, this fake tough man crap. But it served him well for Liverpool, ain't it? So, you know, long may it continue. You know, disjointed in midfield, Matip, shadow of his former self, Van Disney. There's more to defending than just that, and aura and all of that nonsense. So yeah, man, we won our individual battles, we won our collective battles, especially Tomiyasu. You know, Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, you know what it is. And Jesus, we need to get him some goals, man. But it's nice to have a striker that is affecting games to a suitable level without scoring to the point where, don't get me wrong, Lacazette did a lot of things that Jesus did yesterday, but we overcompensated with Lacazette because he hasn't got the other drip to him. Jesus has it all. He's a Spartan. He's a warrior, literally putting his body on the line several times, getting his head hit, mildly concussed, getting into it with the refs. Elite guy, man. Won us the pen, involved in the 2 moves to the goals prior to that. Shout out Gabriel as well, because he, I'm seeing Gabriel dummy balls for Saka in that. I think, Gabriel did his best. The same way I said Gabriel has to hold his hands up for the first goal. I think Gabriel did his best to kind of make up for Saliba and Xhaka's mistake, but it weren't too late. Gabriel does need to get the Bozo gene out. Check out the video I just done. You'll have seen the last upload from myself. The 4-4-2 didn't bang from Liverpool. It didn't bang. It looked like a FIFA thing. 1 minute it's looking like 4-4-2. Jota's trying to drop into the 10 and then run forward. It was meaty. So we won that. Opening exchanges. As I said, only Thiago was the one connecting passes and that. I did think Nunes, Diaz gave us problems. Probably a bit fortunate him and Trent came off. Firmino, when he came on, looked decent. Alisson, by default, he didn't do anything. They looked scared. There was a lot of gaps and all of these things within their team, man. I don't know where Salah is, man. I don't know. He shouldn't be in your FPL teams. And Tomiyasu, again, I see one comment. Tomiyasu, bro, centre back, left back, right back. This is what we need, man. Nice win yesterday, but to be honest, the ref was horrible. If that was against us both, the hand and the penalty, I'd be fuming. Boy, it weren't though. So, boy, I'm running with this because there'll be times, and there already has been times we've been done dirty. The referee's atrocious, really. But you could argue we could have had some favourable decisions gone our way. We could have had a couple of pen shouts. I think people overdoing it on Twitter, and you can tell those who didn't watch the game in general where they're saying Martinelli should have been sent off for Trent. In what world? Yeah, if you put a still image, but in what world does the attacker who's crossing the ball, he's crossed the ball, Trent's tried to tackle him, and Trent's unlucky, being savage there. In what world? Allow me, man. Van Dijk's a quality defender, but agendas have to run, innit? Agendas have to run. Gabriel made up for his error. Everyone's gonna make errors, but he needs to pattern up a bit, if I'm completely honest with you. So with that, I might as well share my screen and get the tactics. We'll keep your opinions coming, folks. I'm gonna circle back over them. Man, I want to get my thoughts off my chest. It's always nice to talk about Arsenal. So yeah, what is this? I think this is just their shape, really, initially. So the first things first, their shape. We won the battle. At best, sometimes you saw them creeping. And what I did like, at times, Xhaka was actually stepping and making it a back three, just purely off the ball. Xhaka was still doing his stuff going forward, and he could have scored. He was denied. But we was making it like a back five, and then our midfield would sit in as well. And then you'd have our front players. Again, I'm not doing it all to scale, but generally, you could see what was going on. And Liverpool were trying to do, for large periods of the game, pardon me, surfing the mic, Thiago's trying to play connecting passes, but all they're trying to do, Trent spamming, they're trying to hit it over Ben White's head. It didn't bang. It is what it is. It's more like a 4-4-2. Jota isn't interested in being a majestic 10. There was a gap, really, that we was able to exploit. Whenever Matip or Van Dijk, it was, off the ball. We said off the ball would make the difference. And that's what's impressed me the most in our goals and how we've defended, really. So off the ball, we was quite good in our setup, really, really and truly. The first goal basically just comes with, obviously, Saliba's won the ball. He's played it to Ben White, if I believe. I might be skipping someone out. Saka's been found. I don't know why I ain't got Saka's name there. He's found Odegaard. Again, we all know, and it's concerning, it's concerning. This isn't actually Trent. That's Trent. Anyone knows now, you play in behind Trent, there's stress. You saw for one of the goals, Henderson and Trent absolutely savaged as well. That might have been for Saka's goal. But as you know, Martinelli, the man's a demon. He's ran off the ball, and he's a big game player. He's run off the ball. Trent, I don't know what Tiana Trent's on, but he's falling asleep. So, Martinelli's got in. Alisson, see ya. Brazil gaffer, I hope you watch the game. You need to call up the mandem. Smash the like button, people. So that was nice. But, our transitions were quite good. And that's been a case of us all season. Even when we had that disallowed goal against United and the goal we scored against United, really. We do move it from back to front quicker. Pardon me. If I focus just on some individuals, now this is where we let ourselves down. If you remember, Ramsdale's kicked it out for a goal, for a throw-in, sorry. Trent and Thiago have played some Buki 1-2. Trent's played one it's a lovely daisy cutter, but it's nonchalant, really. It's really, really nonchalant. It's really nonchalant. And it kind of is struggling. Gabriel and Saliba, they're both over covering. No one's, nobody's doing well enough. No one's claimed it. Gabriel has to take the bulk of the blame because it's an unorthodox attempt to clear it. And he at one point, when he tries to react to the mistake, obviously not to scale, not Saliba, but he hasn't followed Darwin Núñez. And if I'm honest with you, Ben White could have as well. But again, while that's going on, if you remember correctly, Diaz has made a lovely run from out to in. He's made the lovely run. And by that means, we need to stop him at some point. By the time he's got in there, it's probably too late. And this is now, obviously, Saliba's trying his thing. This is now, to a degree, Ben White more on Gabriel because Nunes was closer to him. This is where you've got to smell the danger. Gabriel's half looking at the ball, half kind of clocking what's going on with Nunes. But this is where you have to follow Nunes. You have to put him off. Ben White could have seen that as well. Unfortunately, we didn't. Diaz did very well, and he had a good game. Quite fortunate that I hope he's all right, but they came off injured, slapped it in the back of the net. And again, that is an issue, really. If we just pretend we're over here, sometimes Gabriel and Saliba, you know, simple balls over the top. Both of them are caught going for the same ball. And that had, if you watch the game again, that did happen on occasion, but they did their job in it. So it is what it is. If you remember correctly as well, Gabriel's did very good in the build up to this to the goal just before half time. He's eventually, I don't know why that says Martinelli, you know, that's meant to be red. But if you remember correctly, skipping through, you know, Gabriel's did quite well. You know, we've broken against a Liverpool attack. He's found Jesus skipping the forward a bit. At some point, you know, I don't know what these two are on really and truly. But Martinelli, I'll just put some blue things in here to make the point. Gabriel has showed great maturity, really. I mean, I don't know what I was seeing from Gabriel, really. Man, fasting forward, you know, Jesus is involved as well, but fasting forward, the ball's coming to the box, and that's not how you spell Gabriel, but let's just call him Gab. He's dummied it. Well, these are all on, one's playing him on side. He's dummied it, and then Saka's done what Saka's done, in it. So I was impressed with the attacking moves, really. Again, in terms of the goal we conceded to alienate some players, you know, with these top players that Liverpool have, or anyone in general, you've got to follow off the ball runners, and we didn't quite do that really and truly. If you remember correctly, you know, Xhaka and Saliba, you know, Liverpool have that's probably the easiest attack Liverpool put together. It's like 5 passes from defense to attack, and then Firmino's just made a run off the ball. And the ball's played in behind, and we don't see him until it's too late. Gabriel's actually read the run. He can't get near him. By the time he's actually sliding, Firmino's put it in the back of the net. And that was also disappointing because we made a good opening 7 minutes in that second half. And we had some chances we could have scored as well, but we didn't take them. But we did what we need to do, man. We did what we need to do in that regards, if I'm completely honest with you. Shout out to Tomiyasu at right back, at left back, better yet, because again, he cut off that ball. Again, starting again, is there a way to refresh this? You know, obviously, if we line up, you know, Mohamed Salah, Tomiyasu, the centre halves, again, not to scale, of course, because we're not able to do that. And you've got Trent. Now, Trent on the ball, a problem. Off the ball, playing against Martinelli, you're in danger. And you saw that all game, really and truly. So Trent's indirectly out the game. The most you saw in a real attacking sense that hurt us with Trent is the ball we just spoke about. Really didn't do much, did he? Really and truly. But it's Salah. Now, Salah, in my opinion, has been playing probably a bit too out wide for my liking if I was a Liverpool fan. But you know already, when Van Disney has the ball, when Matip has the ball, there's many options. But Liverpool's game is on movement. Diaz, whether he's going to hug the touchline or drop or run in behind. Jota, in particular, playing in the 10, wants to run in behind and quite good in the air. Darwin Núñez hanging on the last shoulder. Salah wants to come in off his left foot. You know, at times, Tomiyasu getting tight to him. Tomiyasu letting him have space, letting him run, and we'll let him run into traffic and things like that. Go down the flank. We always know he wants to cut in. But when it just comes to basic balls over the top, we had it, people. Sorry, one sec. Smash the like button if you haven't already, people. Big up the Twitch gang as well. You know, Van Dijk in particular, he's trying to clip it to Salah. You can't, because Tomiyasu's winning it in the air. And this is the biggest reason, just beyond Tomiyasu being switched on defensively, you know. He wins the first and seconds. It was a fantastic ball. It was a fantastic ball from Jota. You know, I expect good players to play good passes, but again, off the ball makes the difference. We didn't follow our runners. You know, if we follow Firmino, maybe he doesn't score. Football's on fine margins. Go and watch the game again, Graham. You literally see it. It was a fantastic pass from Jota. Great players are going to do that. But if you go and look at the build-up, it's about 5 passes from Alisson into where the zone was. But Tomiyasu quality, Ben White quality, centre-halves, large part. Gabriel and Saliba reacted and played quite well, if I'm honest with you. Gabriel's passing isn't going to look as sexy, Drew, when you got Saliba and all these guys. But you're right, still, you know, it was a great performance from us. Fantastic performance. And now, you know, you've got versatility. You know, you can imagine the Arsenal fans' conversations are centered around what next for Tierney. Now you've got Tomiyasu. I don't want to be that guy, but Tomiyasu has problems with injuries. We can't rule anyone out. But right now, Tierney's third choice left back until he starts next week. I don't know. Tomiyasu, fantastic. Ramsdale in what was asked of you, great. Ben White, quality. Midfield men, quality. Martinelli, to say you and Saka were quality, and Jesus, understatement. Jesus, Spartan, warrior. And that's what it's about. You can't just have one player playing well. Of course, some players have done better than others and things like that. But we did what we needed to do. Benjamin White, no one cares about your price tag now. Van Dijk, you saw what the real light skin centre backs are. So it's Saliba's time. You're done now, really. But on a serious note, away from the banner, what other notes would I say as well? I think that's it, man. We won the battle on the right. We locked up Salah and Trent. Trent got treated like a ragdoll by Martinelli. No change out of Tomiyasu at all. You see what happens when you buck a fit Tomiyasu? Not when we're playing him where he's hardly had any training against Jota. It's crazy. Xhaka going forward as well like he's been doing. But every now and again for me, he was sitting in. So, yeah, man, we just have to work on not conceding the goals we did, be a bit more clinical, manage the game just that better, take the good and make it great, smell a bit of danger, and we do what we're doing in it, really and truly. We did what we needed to do. Part a good performance as well. The 4-4-2 from Liverpool evidently didn't work, and it's calm, really and truly. Again, I think Liverpool will get back. They're a fantastic team, really and truly, but right now it looks peak for them, if I'm completely honest with you. But, you don't turn good overnight. Similar, they don't find themselves in this position overnight. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. But who cares? Arsenal, the 3-point debt collectors, and we won this 5-goal thriller.